Hey, what up, guys? Welcome to Mount Fitness MBS Ministry, where I am your host, Brother Minister Mongoose. This is a chapter 2, guys, so I'll be very brief with the introduction. As a matter of fact, I'll just, maybe if there's time on the back end of the video, I'll mention some things about the ministry. But if you'd like some information about the ministry, you can always watch chapter 1 or any other video on this YouTube channel that's specifically titled Mind, Body, and Spirit as the the branch, the umbrella, and then of course there's a subtitle, if you will. But in any way, let's get off into it, man. This is chapter 2. We're talking about moving into compassion, walking and operating from unyielding compassion. In chapter 1, I mentioned how difficult this could be. So I'm going to be sharing a couple examples about myself to encourage you guys and inspire you guys, because it can be a difficult road. It can be a difficult task. Moving in that compassion. And if we're totally honest, we know that compassion, good old-fashioned, old-school compassion, is something, it's a science, it's an art, it's an energy that's been lost. For the most part. I mean, everybody's cool and everybody's, grand as long as it's nice and sunny in their own backyard. Hey, we've been conditioned to, hey, long as it's nice and sunny in my backyard, I don't care if the rest of the world sinks. This is how we've been. The good book refers to it as, in these last and evil days, the love, compassion of most people will wax cold. This is what has happened, guys, and I won't get into some of the behind-the-scene mechanics of why it's been deliberately inflicted upon collective society. I'll just simply move on from the fact that it is. So most people's hearts have been waxed cold, man, and it's difficult if you're carrying this energy. I like to say holistic mind, body, and spirit energy, because that's what it is. Walking this path, if you're going to be at your best, whether that's in the bottom of the pit or in the top of the palace, if you're going to be at your best, that means you operating at your holistic best. You can't really truly be at your best if you're in great shape and you go to church all the time, but your spiritual faculties are not up to par. Your creative mental faculties, your problem solving, your focus, etc., etc. You can't really be at your absolute best if you're great in the mental fitness arena and you're great in the spiritual fitness arena, but you can't walk up a flight of stairs. If you can run 15 miles, but your spirit man or woman is not up to par, you're operating in competitiveness and jealousy and envy and fear and all these different things, you can't really be at your best. So most people have succumbed to the false narrative that they can't be at their best. They're just okay competing against someone else or just settling for mediocrity in one or more of those different areas. When you commit to being at your best, you come across all these people, as I mentioned in chapter 1, that are naysayers, critics, haters, killjoys, just based on what it is that you carry. And you have to be able to deal with it all. You have to be able to manage it all, to navigate it all, and to ultimately transcend it all by the grace of this thing that we most commonly refer to as God, universe, Christ consciousness, Allah, whatever word fits your verbal lexicon or preference. But you have to be able to manage it all. It's not going to be an easy road. Most of you guys, you know this, because you're just simply trying to be at your best. And every time you show up at that workplace, there's people hating on you, people trying to put you down, tear you down, spreading false rumors about you, etc., etc. in the workplace, in the neighborhood, sometimes in your own relationships, etc., because they have succumbed to the notion that it's too hard, it's too difficult, it's too confusing, it's too lonely, it's too isolating. So we have to be able to manage it all. And in this two-part series, we're talking about the role that compassion, operating from compassion, plays in that. The role that pivotal role that just walking in good old-fashioned compassion plays in it. It plays a very pivotal role, guys. So I'm going to be talking about some how-tos. Some how-tos. Some of you guys may be on this end of the pendulum a little bit more closely related to where I am in terms of, hey man, I'm a competitive guy. I always have been. I always will be. I have what the Bible refers to as a warrior spirit. I'm grateful for that. I embrace that. And yet, over the years, I've had to, by the grace of this thing called God, learn to harness this, to channel this, to control this, and to direct it if and when given the orders by this thing that we call God. Make no mistake about it, guys. You're not here to be anybody's emotional, psychological, physical doormat. And the Bible is, and all of the other ancient and modern religions are filled with what we call warriors. So don't let nobody tell you that because you stand up for yourself, because you're willing to engage the enemy, you're willing to set clear boundaries and enforce those boundaries, then that means you're a narcissist. That means that you're egotistical. That means you're arrogant. Don't let anybody tell you that. God has warriors a part of his kingdom. In fact, these loving things that we call with the wings and the beautiful halos and the radiant, shining, the things the radiant shining auras and energy fields, these things that we refer to as angels, they was actually some of the most warlike, destructive things in the Bible, and we all know that. So it's not just being kind and being nice. The same angel that's kind and nice and loving and forgiving has been sent to destroy whole cities. We all know this. So let me put that out there first as well. Now, some of you guys may be a little bit more aligned with that side of the coin, if you will, and others may be a little bit more aligned with where it's natural, it's more organic. It's not easy for you to move with compassion. It's first nature, it's second nature to you. And when I say compassion, I'm talking about kindness and generosity and humbleness and all those things that are just different oscillations of compassion. Some of you guys, that may just flow naturally for you, but and you need to be the guys who needs to get better at setting boundaries, enforcing those boundaries, because it's so natural for you to move in kindness and humbleness and compassion that people nowadays just see that as a breakfast buffet. That's a lunch or a dinner buffet. It's something to be feasted upon. It's something to be manipulated, something to be dominated, taken advantage of. So some of you guys may be on that end, that side of the coin, where you have to get better to stand when it comes to standing up for yourself. Other guys closely like me, we got to get better at not going too far, to not just setting boundaries and being, who we may be more naturally inclined to just be the guy that says, look, what's up? I'm not with the passive aggressive. And honestly, some of us we're not with aggressive, we're just with violence. That's an end or the side of the coin that we had to work our way by the grace of God back to the middle. But in any event, here's some things that I do, some things that inspire you. And again, be inspired by the fact that if you're this guy or this girl and people are taking advantage of you, people are running you over, treating you poorly, taking advantage of you, not valuing you, and the time has come for you to start standing up for yourself, setting those boundaries, there's nothing to be ashamed of. You have to go through that that battlefield from that side of the pendulum, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. Just like others have to come and fight that battle from the other side of the pendulum in terms of, like I said, not overreacting, not being so quick to just snap off, et cetera, et cetera. But here's some things that I've done. I'll talk about the side that I'm most familiar with. Me being just the spirit and the man and the background, the experience that I have. And it's just always been naturally competitive, passive aggressive that's like a meat eating vegan to me. Like, how does that work? If I don't like you, I hang around the guys. I was raised up around the guys in the neighborhood that says, look, dude, I don't like you. Now, I don't like you, and if that don't get the job, look, dude, I don't like you, so don't come around me. And if that don't get the job done, look, dude, I don't like you, and I'll just punch you in your mouth from there. We're gonna make this clear and up front. I'm not gonna do passive aggressive. What is that? So in any event, we've had to come from that side of the coin, and I can't tell you how many times since my deliverance, since God has brought me out of the wilderness of all of the many, many things that I've went through. And that includes homelessness. My story is on this YouTube channel. If you want to watch it, it's called My Testimony and My Deliverance. Check that out if you want a little bit more details. But, I come from that place. Once God delivered me from all of those things, gangs, drug selling, drug abuse, being overweight, being homeless, incarcerated multiple times over a span of multiple decades, and so forth and so on. Pretty much everything that's common in the ghetto, there's probably 100% chance that I've indulged in it to a great extent over a great period of time in my past. Now, but since God has delivered me from those type of indulgences and activities, and has led me to go on to become a professional athlete, certified fitness trainer, founder of my own fitness training company, the founder of this ministry. Since he had delivered me from those things and brought me into these things, there was a rough road in between, and the road is still somewhat rough right now, although I'm light years ahead from where I once was in terms of, hey, look, if there's a problem, let's handle it, period. And so what I learned to do over time was, and again, this is to inform some of you guys that may be operating from that end of the pendulum, nothing wrong with you. Don't let the world tell you that there's something wrong with you because you have this warrior mentality and you're not afraid to confront the aggressor. It's just your nature. But here's something that you can do, because again, we're talking about moving in compassion, operating from compassion. And again, it all starts with us understanding that most people are hurting. Most people are lost. Most people are bitter. Most people are broken. If we're hand on heart honest, we can admit that. Collective society is a broken society. So it starts with you understanding that. Staying focused on that, again, mind, body, and spirit, using your mental faculties to stay focused on that, even in the midst of the storms. Even when people are trying to push your button, people are being rude, people are being openly disrespectful, discourteous, and all of these other things. So long as they're not crossing that uncrossable line, I have learned, and I recommend this again to those of you guys that may be operating from that side of the coin, one of the things I've learned to do is to take different steps to de-escalate the situation. Because if you're carrying this energy, you're a human being just trying to be at your absolute best, the rumor's out about you. The story is out about you. People know who you are, and you may never ever even meet them. You may be walking around them in the office place, in the gym, in the neighborhood, but they know who you are. Because you're a living legend in a sense, that your reputation precedes you because you're so rare, because you're so unique. You're one of the rare individuals who are committed to being at their absolute best, mentally, physically, and spiritually, And the flying monkeys, the kingdom of darkness, the kings and queens of chaos, they know who you are. They spread the rumors. Oftentimes, I don't want to get too conspiratorial, but factual. I use the word conspiratorial loosely. Sometimes they're taking pictures, they're forwarding those pictures to their friends and their other flying monkeys saying, here she is, here he is, this is what she looks like, etc., etc. So they know who you are. Your reputation and what it is that you're about precedes you. So people KNOW you before you even show up. Your name is being talked about in rooms that you'll never enter by people that you may never even meet. And of course, some people, they may not come up to you, you may not know it, but they know who you is, because in that workplace, in that neighborhood, whatever, they've passed the word to the other flying monkeys. And of course, the people that are not flying monkeys, they hear the rumors sometimes as well. But they definitely put it out there to their flying monkeys. So when people see you, they want to test you. They want to push your button. They want to see if you're the goods. They want to see how they compare against you. Will you overreact? Will you underreact? So when you show up just minding your own business, these people have a hit, if you will, out on you. And so I use de-escalation. I can't tell you how many times I've had to file civil suits against some people that I was renting out their facilities to train my clients in. I don't own a brick and mortar location at this time, so I would pay annual or monthly fees to train my clients, and there would be other trainers who have done the same things for their clients. I can't tell you how many times, even though I had a written contract, some clown would push my button, would cross the uncrossable line, or what I considered to be the uncrossable line, or what was the uncrossable line in the old me. And there hasn't been a physical confrontation, but whenever I check someone, or whenever I put somebody in their place, or whatever you want to call it, they would go back and complain, and then oftentimes they would have their other flying monkeys in those locations complain and just say, you know what, we don't feel comfortable around this guy, whatever. So from situations like that, and situations where, there's been some, not an actual confrontation that got physical, but a confrontation that got very, verbal, and you got two grown men sitting there like, well, my thing is I don't want trouble, but if it's going to be trouble, let's just get it over with. So either way, it's taking those kinds of bumps and bruises and scarred reputations and lost clients. Sometimes my clients would see me do something that sometimes it was overreacting in terms of the old me and me feeling like I was disrespected on that level. And then sometimes it was because even though they saw the other person disrespect me, the moment I spoke up for myself, clients have left, canceled their contracts. Again, I've been kicked out of different locations where my contract was canceled, And so I've learned to just kind of de-escalate. It's taken me a while. I've learned to de-escalate, and I de-escalate by, first of all, some people are just too rude, too upfront, too disrespectful, and there's no time to try to manage that. It requires a response immediately. Some of you guys out there know what I'm talking about. This guy, this girl just automatically, out the clear blue sky for whatever reason, disrespected you in a way where there was no angle for you to try to conflict avoid or conflict resolution. You just had to confront that situation. So if I come across a clown operating with that kind of palpable, disrespectful energy, the first thing I will do, my go-to move that is to try to remove myself from that situation. Literally, this has taken years. Actually, it's taken a couple of decades because my past history has been over almost 3 decades. But in any event, it's taken a while to where now when I sense that kind of energy, I'll just be the one to get up and walk away. I'll be the one to, some clown walking down the street or whatever with the big bag, you better get out my way, approach the old me. I would just, what, dude? You bump into me, we got a problem. Period. But now I will avoid the situation, conflict avoidance automatically. I'll take a different route. I'll turn or step off to the side if necessary, just to avoid that. So, and again, it's operating off of that compassion that, okay, I know something was wrong with this guy. Whatever it is, he's not operating at his best. And I don't know if he's interested in doing so or if he's just lost at it. But whatever it is, I'm not going to let his issue become my issue, because I have compassion enough to know he's lost, he's hurting, he's intimidated, he wants to start a fight, he's operating off low vibrational energy. That's his right, but it's also my right to not feed into that. So I'll de-escalate by going a totally different way, walking off to the side. And again, it's kind of situationally based, because if a person is just going too overboard, too confrontational, then that person gets confronted, but in a calm, respectful, adult way. Another thing that I may do, if I see somebody that just may be a clown or engaging in clown behavior, maybe they just want attention, they don't know how to go about it, maybe they're just looking to see if they can push my buttons, but they're approaching that uncrossable line, they're about to cross that uncrossable line, then I'll just offer a word of encouragement. Hey, what's up, man? How's that thing going, man? I'll give some dap, I'll give some eye contact sometimes that just says what's up, or some some eye contact that says, man, stop it, dude, this ain't that. So whatever it is, I look to de-escalate the situation. Walk away, take a different route, say what's up, give eye contact that says what's up, or man, that's far enough. Whatever it is, de-escalate the matter. And it's all born out of compassion, because again, most people are hurting, most people are confused, most people are bitter, most people are lost, etc., etc. And so us being at our best, we can't act like we don't know that. We can't act like, if you can pardon the analogy, we can't act like we don't know the retarded guy or girl is suffering from a mental illness. You're not going to respond with a retarded guy walking down the street bumping into you or being rude. You're not gonna, if he's really, really retarded, you're going to have compassion. You're going to step aside. You're going to move away. You're going to maybe ask somebody if they can, give him some care or whatever. That's all coming out of compassion. So it's that same concept. De-escalate. Again, walk away, whatever it takes. Sometimes it may just be a good old smile. Just let somebody know, hey man, look, I know you're hurting, or I know you're interested, and you want some advice, you want some attention or whatever, you don't know how to go about it. Here you go. Nice, genuine word of encouragement, no sarcasm, a good, hello, what's up, or again, just to remove yourself from the situation. Now, very briefly, when it comes to the people on the other end of that coin, and people have been just kind of walking over you and you haven't been standing up for yourself, start just being calm. This is what destroys the kingdom of darkness to begin with. Good old-fashioned peace, good old-fashioned calmness. But just approach them. Hey, is everything okay? It seems like, were you trying to get my attention when you walked by and coughed close to my ear, or whatever. Hey man, are you trying to be rude? That's not a cool thing for you to do. You may not have that spirit that says, hey man, look, dude, you out of line. But you do have that spirit that says, hey, that's far enough. I think that's disrespectful. Come on, man, let's get out of the sandbox. Whatever it is, you must start standing up for yourself, because not only do the warriors in the Bible put on the shield of armor and go out to the battlefield, everyone that's committed to the kingdom must put on the helmet of salvation, the sword of justice, the breastplate of righteousness, and all those different things. So you have to start doing it in whatever way, and this is why you can reach out to this ministry if you want something more specific, more detailed based on what you're believing for, what you're hoping for, what you're fighting against, etc., etc. But you must start stepping up for yourself. I can't tell you how many clients that I get nowadays that have been damaged, if you will, that have been scarred, probably a better word, scarred from past relationships, from scarred upbringing, and they have, as a result, have allowed people to, they've been people's victims for oh so long. They don't know how to stand up for themselves. And yet the duty to do so stands. So, hey, look, whatever it is, sometimes you could just give that eye contact. When they see you, this guy, this girl who is always just doing your own thing, not cowardly, but very humble, very laid back, very, just very chill. When they see that all the time and they've been disrespectful and mocking that and shaming that and being rude, then all of a sudden you just give the eye contact. They feel that. That's something that they could feel that lets them know, okay, I don't want this. This guy, this girl that I've been thinking on dominating all along, they have a fire. They have an engine. They have the whole armor of God, and they will stand up for themselves. Sometimes that's all it takes, guys. You don't have to fight, or sometimes you don't have to engage the bully. You just have to stand up to the bully, and that's what most people are. They're bullies. They're bullies, social bullies, energetic bullies. And so whatever side of the pendulum it is that you're on, reach out if you would like some specific details, some specific personalized curriculums for you, based on you, what you're going through, etc., etc. No difference than if you contact me and you'd like a personalized meal plan. No different than that. Your meal plan is not going to be the same as his or hers, even though you guys may be the same height, same weight, same gender, etc., etc. There may be some finely tuned things that make yours click for you and make theirs click for them. It's the same thing when it comes to a personalized routine, when it comes to how do you really continually move in compassion, not overreact and not underreact, because it can be a challenge from both sides on both sides of the coin. Again, my side, that is what it is, and I've gotten so much better at that. Let me send this thing we call God a shout out, because when I sense that negative energy, for oh so many years, having grown up in the ghetto and going through what I've gone through, even when God, the first stages of God delivering me from those things, that fire, that aggression, that willingness to get violent was there. And again, it cost me pain, struggle, going back and forth, saying, wow, I feel horrible that I checked this person, and I overreacted, and whatever. So I thank God that now when I sense that negative energy, I move into compassion. Actually, I don't have to move there, but I make sure that I'm centered there. I check myself, because again, it can be difficult sometimes, even nowadays. I work in a competitive field. You got people that always are sometimes want to challenge, want to prove themselves, and whatever. So I thank this thing we call God that I'm able to stay centered, to stay calm, and de-escalate the matter, or just remove myself from the situation before it even becomes a matter. So be encouraged by that, guys. Be inspired by that. If he did it for me, he'll do it for absolutely anyone. So keep that in mind. And again, for my brothers and sisters who are operating from the other end of the pendulum, and people have been manipulating you, you've allowed yourself to be taken advantage of, that's okay. You can start right now today to start setting those boundaries and enforcing them. You're not here to be taken advantage of because you're being compassionate and being kind and being caring and being, forgiving and tolerant. Because you naturally operate with those things, that doesn't give anybody the right to run over you. So you have to start standing up for yourself as well. Again, good old-fashioned eye contact. Maybe you can be the person that also just walks away. Give a look and just walk away or show your strength. There's strength. We always say, be a bigger man or be a bigger woman and just walk away. That shows your strength when you just stop sitting there and absorbing it all and allowing them to treat you all these different kinds of ways. When you just get up calmly, pick up your paperwork, your bag, or whatever it is, and remove yourself from the situation. Go to the next cubicle. Go take the different route down the block. Now that person that's a bully is saying, wow, they feel that energy that says, hey man, this ain't that. So again, this is what I got for you guys. Thank you so very much for tuning in. There's philosophical counseling, there's youth and young adult mentoring and counseling, there's certified fitness training, and of course there is the clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices. If you like any information about all those, well, go to the physical fitness website at mountfitnessmbs.com and then send me an email link if you're interested in either or all of those services. The email link is down there in the description box. Send me an email. Let's schedule your initial consultation and evaluation. Please consider being a supporter of this ministry by liking, sharing, and subscribing to today's message and all the messages. If the Holy Spirit moves you to do so, be sure to turn on the bell icon for notifications. Leave comments. Consider being a financial supporter. There's an email link down in the, there's a Cash App link down in the description box. This is what I got for you guys. But go out there and know that when you operate from compassion, these are different kind of challenges that you have to take. You have to be able to manage. You can't run away from the disrespect, and you can't overreact to the disrespect. You have to, again, your discernment will tell you what to do when and when to do what. You can't be overreacting, and you can't be underreacting and allowing people to just run all over you. This is what I got for you guys. That's kind of a rushed closing, but keep that in mind, guys. And remember, if you want follow-up, if you want service or anything, the email link is down in the description box. I love you all. Thank you much for your time, your attention, your generosity, your love, and your support, and I really mean that. And this is what I got for you guys. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Yes, I am Brother Minister Mongoose, and yes, I will holla back. Peace.